Coach, how's practice going?
Day 10 is in the books, practice 10. Went good. Good practice. I mean, you just can't get enough of football this time of year.
Jim, with Zach Gentry coming in as a quarterback, converted tight end, now he's on the Mackey watch list. I talked to his high school coach. He said they lined him up as a defensive end and a wide receiver. What have you noticed just about Zach's athleticism, his versatility, and how he's handling the tight end role now?
It's a constant improvement. From the time he, left the quarterback position and really started playing wide receiver, and then into the slot, and then down to putting the hand on the ground, and his progression as a blocker, his progression as a pass catcher, of knowing his assignments, and he's one of those guys that plays hard every play and knows what he's supposed to do, and then more and more the subtleties of the game are coming his way, the techniques, the fundamentals. Sharon Moore is doing an incredible job with him. He has been a tremendous addition to our staff. I can't say enough good things about Zach. He's continually ascending player from ever since the time we switched him to tight end.
How did he handle it when you guys brought it to his attention? Hey, we want to move him from quarterback to tight end. How did he handle that?
Well, there was a time in his freshman year that the scout team was really asking for him as a receiver, and he started having success really immediately as the wide receiver. And the difference in his physique is night and day as well, and he's very, very confident. He's got the chin bob. He's got this, and he hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped looking to get better. At any time since he's been here. I mean, timing up his jumps right now. I mean, that's something that he's really trying to perfect and master. Catching the ball at his highest point and not taking it on the way down. But the hands are there, and he's running well. He's in tremendous shape right now. So it's all very positive for Zach Gentry.
10 days into camp, are you finding pieces of the offense fitting in more and more, or roles finding themselves more 10 days in? Who's going to play where and when and how much? Yeah,
I would say, historically, training camp, that first week, I mean, a lot of guys come out of the gates, it's like one of those Tour de France bike races. You see everybody pedaling hard, and it's the sprint is on, and you get to that second week, and it's like they start to go uphill, and each individual guy, they start to battle the challenge that is in front of them, and they got to do something day after day after day, and not always sometimes feeling sore and tired, and the sun is doing its job. It's shaping the body and carving the mind, and there's no question when you get into that day 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 that there's some that are meeting that challenge just mentally inside of their own head better than others. I liken it to golf, where they talk about Saturday being moving day. Since you specifically asked about roster spots and starting positions, that's what this week's about. I mean, it's moving day. Some guys are moving up, some guys are moving down, but the sharp-witted guy is looking around and seeing there's opportunity to be had.
Anybody jump out at you?
Oh yeah, I mean, so many different positions guys are jumping out and playing really well. Devin Bush is one of the fastest linebackers I've ever been around or seen. Everybody on the team has an incredible example in Rashawn Gary. To see him run into the ball play after play after play, and understand that he's running as fast as many of the skilled guys, that are thinking they're a little sore, and he's doing it near 300 pounds. It's incredible. But the mindset is there, the attitude is tremendous, and he wants to be one of the best. So and so many positions. Chase Winovich continues to do at a very high level. Cleek Hudson is really emerged as a top flight player. Our corners are extremely good. Safeties as well. So many players are emerging. Furbush. You could name a lot of guys. Offensively, and defensively today, we had one of those physical 9-on-7s that warms the cockles of the heart. And good thing about a 9-on-7 drill, you don't have to see it to know it's good. You hear the plastic. You can hear a good 9-on-7 drill, and both sides it was popping. So the offensive line, I really believe is getting better, and Ed Warner's doing a terrific job. I could talk about many of the other positions. Chris Evans, Karan Higdon have emerged as leaders on the offensive side of the ball, along with Gentry and McKean. Receiver position is, some of the guys that you think would be good are playing good football, and then there's some receivers that are really also emerging. I'm going to keep them under the radar right now because, see if they can keep stacking some days, especially this week. Let's see it this week. This second, going on to the third week. Quarterback position has been great competition there. Maybe you talk about the competition making each other better at that position. Maybe no more evident than at the quarterback position. So very happy how that's progressing.
You expect to wait till September 1?
Seeing good things, seeing really good things throughout the roster. There's so many guys. I got to talk Jordan Glasgow. It just hits you every day. He just takes every play. He goes hard every play, and he knows this assignment. And it's like, as a coach, those are the two things you look for. Probably on any football team, the thing you stress the most, and maybe the thing we stress the most here is, that's what your coaches want you to do. They want you to play hard every single play and know your assignments and do your job. And nobody does it better than Jordan Glasgow. Plus, he's not only doing it, on the defensive side, but then toot the whistle when we go to special teams, and then you see him covering a kickoff for 40 yards, and they flip it around and do punt, and he's running another 40 yards, as hard as he can go every play. It's it's good stuff.
Are there one or two guys that maybe emerged at the quarterback position?
As I said, that is really as evident as any position. I think that the separation occurs, by competition, and competition is really adding to so many position groups on our team. I think quarterback, maybe the most.
You expect to wait till September 1 to make a choice there?
Sooner rather than later.
Will we know, or will you keep that under wraps until you're at Notre Dame in terms of who you're starting at quarterback?
Who's we?
The media.
The public?
The public, yes.
I don't know. I haven't decided that yet.
You said one thing you know for sure is the quarterbacks would be better this year, whoever starts.
I had a feeling that would be the case.
Right.
And
is there other areas of the offense that you're positive about that it'll be better?
well, I have a feeling. I have some feelings about that, and the offensive line I think is ascending very, very nicely. Coaching the heck out of it, and the guys are working hard, and I think we're moving people better than we have. It's been a big difference. So that's another position group that's that's playing very, very well. Noticed in the first beginning days of camp that, I mean, you're an offensive lineman, you're looking across at Rashawn and Chase and Monet and Aubrey and Dwumfor and those guys are, I mean, they're playing practice, competitive drills, scrimmage drills. I mean, Rashawn, it's like a game. It is every bit of his demeanor when he's playing a game. And you know, first few days, you know, I mean, some of our offensive linemen were kind of looking at their shoes and looking at their toes and nervous. Probably would be the best way to describe it. But I've seen, as you know, especially about day 6, day 7, you know, they weren't looking down at their shoes anymore, and they were facing up to the challenge and winning some of them. You know, against some really, really good players. Not winning all the battles because you know, that front and that linebacking core is really good. Hudson and Furbush and Devin Bush, Josh Ross has emerged. Devin Gill has emerged, and are playing tremendous. But to see our line, you know, face up to that challenge has been a very good thing.
Jim, you talked about this being the week where guys are going to move up, guys are going to move down. Obviously, it's getting close to the first
Historically,
game.
that happens, yeah.
Is there anything that's structured in practice to help determine that you do something more this week, more scrimmaging, more whatever, to determine separation?
Well, I mean, the scrimmages are mixed in. I mean, we really like we really value the ones against the ones, twos against the twos, and the threes against the threes, and you know, put the ball down and you know, try to move it, try to stop them, and yeah, that's continues to rage on.
Who do you like your right and left tackle? Who are you liking at right and left tackle so far?
Again, it's we'll see what happens this week. You know, it's a tremendous week for finding out who you really like and who you can really count on. So the line position, like the quarterback position, I would say, you know, the thing that probably stands out the most is, you know, right now nobody's backing down. Nobody's giving in. So you know, that. So while that is still taking place, you know, keep having at it.
Is the overall progress where you want it to be?
Yeah, I've been pleased with the practices. You know, I think a lot's been talked about. You know, like the amount of football that you do these days compared to 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and that kind of thing. There's no question there was more. You know, more 2-a-days, more 3-a-days, and no water. You know, guys were taking salt tablets. I mean, even 30 years ago seems archaic compared to now, and you know, the nutrition that there is, and the rules of how much you can practice, and GPS monitors on guys. You know, it's very sophisticated, and the thing that hasn't changed is just the mental. You know, between the years. I mean, the thing that guys faced 20, 30 years ago, they still face today. They got to get up there, and they got to get in there every day, and they got to face those challenges of, am I really good enough? You know, is this really what I want to do? Am I really strong enough and tough enough to do that? And have to face that challenge every day is always the biggest challenge. And you know, there's definitely guys that are rising up to that challenge. You know, there'll always be some that don't, but you know, there's where the separation comes in, and all brought forth by competition.
Coach, have you talked to DJ Durkin since he was put on leave, and any comments on his situation at Maryland?
No, I haven't talked to DJ. He has not reached out.
Did his coaching style when he was on your staff ever give you pause for concern
Well, to answer your question, I can't speak for any other head coach or any other program other than my own.
Have you seen enough of the freshmen yet to know who might contribute this year?
Yes, I think we're starting to really get a good feel of that, and I think I'm just going to. The thing about freshmen is, the longer it takes them to figure out they're good, the better off they're going to be. At least for a year. So I don't want to hamper them by saying that they've arrived, or in any way letting them think that they have arrived. But really across the board, the entire class is. I mean, this is a blue collar, hard working group, and it's a shock when you go from high school football to college football. I mean, that is a shock to the entire nervous system and the body. It's a faster, stronger, more physical game, and I think sometimes they wonder what they got themselves into. And some of our freshmen, what they got themselves into is a chance to be good. So just going to let them keep having at it.
On that note, excuse me, Rashawn was complimenting Jalen Mayfield a lot, so that he's really holding his own offensive line. Then he also mentioned Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line. When you see freshmen, like going to your comment about how long, it's better off if it takes them a little bit longer to learn that they're good. Do you see that with Jalen and Aiden, or are they kind of coming in knowing that they're good?
Bo Schembechler had a great line. He said, when somebody tells you you're good, kick them in the shins. It's might be one of my all-time favorites, and so I tend to think along those lines.
Jim, have you guys heard anything?
That's my advice to Aiden and Jalen right now.
Have you guys heard anything yet about whether or not anybody's going to miss time due to the shoe investigation, shoe resales, or anything? Have you guys heard anything about that?
Our compliance has investigated that, and there's been, I think, a couple shoes that were reported that were 14s that were out there, and we've gone through everybody that's currently on the roster, and they've accounted for those pairs of shoes. So the latest one I saw, I think, was a number 52 number, and nobody currently on the roster that had that number last year.
So you don't anticipate anybody missing time as of now due to that?
No.
Is it over yet?
I don't think so.
Investigation, or still ongoing?
I mean, I'm not in every person. I don't know what happened with every single case, but if somebody sold their shoes, they're gonna be ineligible. So I mean, that point's been hammered home. That's been ad nauseum explained to the players, and they understand, and hopefully they've done the right thing. But I think the general public thinks, and you talk about it, I read these articles, that they just assume that it's a pair of shoes or Michigan shoes. There must be some player on the current roster, but remember, there's players that were on the roster last year, in the numbers of 40 that have graduated from college, and coaches too. We had two coaches that had size 14 shoes, and that aren't here anymore. So just don't assume it's that it's somebody on the roster. These guys are, hopefully there's the guys that are on the roster and that have the college eligibility understand the consequences, and I know that they've been briefed on them, and our guys are pretty smart. And if they don't, and if they somebody did sell those shoes, it's going to result in missed games.
Guys, we got time for 2 more questions.
Is there a date when you expect to know for sure that that's over with and you won't have any problems?
How would I know what date with the
The compliance.
I don't have a crystal ball.
Jim, what was it like when that Detroiters episode that you were pulling finally aired?
It was great. It was great. You know, great group to work with, and just so nice. Just genuine, good, down to earth people. It's one of my favorite shows on TV, and it was fun to be a part of.
What do you know about Shea Patterson?
Tim and Sam are those guys are hilarious, and they couldn't be better guys too. I love watching this show. I love all the Michigan references and the city references.
What do you know about Shea Patterson that you know you could know from afar now that you've been with him in some training camp practices and through spring ball and whatnot?
He's a competitor. What's that? What'd you say? What I didn't? Was that like a?
Like
What did you know about him now that you?
Exactly. That
This kind of sounds like a beauty queen question that they asked the. What did you know about him now that you didn't know about him when you first met him? Yeah, it's kind of a beauty queen question.
competitor. Anything else?
Yeah. Good quarterback.
How has he improved since the spring?
Yeah, he's really having the grasp of the offense. I mean, number one, that's the biggest thing. The time on task of really learning the nuances of the offense is greatly improved since the spring.
Is it a Peterson-Patterson battle at this point, or is it down to those two, or is it still
Yeah, like I said before, it's
hard to hear?
that position has been very competitive, probably our most competitive position. Battles going on, and like I said, none of them have given in. None of them have dropped off. So the rage is on.
Could you see planning to play multiple quarterbacks in a game? Like other than injury, would you rotate quarterbacks or play more than one, or you like to have one and that's our guy?
I don't like to tell what our plans would be. I mean, there's no real reason to do that. So
Thanks,
we
guys.
avoid it.